caught me drinking my drink. Hello, everybody.
Hello out there.
I thought I had a couple seconds there. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. James Dixon is the first one here. Linda Langdon is the second runner-up. Hello, Linda. Hello, Linda. And hello, Apostle Norman. I don't know why I want to keep saying apostle. I don't know what that is, but hey, Norman. And hello, Pat. I'm glad you're here. And Dee D, I hope you and Georgia doing well. Oh, Vincent Kelly. We're going to have to get you on here to be a guest so that we can chat together. So we're going to have to work that out. Hey, Jill. I'm glad you're here. And John Greason. Glad you guys are here. Sandra, hello, sweetheart. So here we are, another chat, heart-to-heart chat. Do you know what we're going to talk about tonight?
No,
I got a lot floating through me.
You talk like you was ready.
I know. I got a lot floating through me. I'm just not sure where to land. You know how that is? Yes, sir, Vincent. So I'm going to... I'm wondering, should I just go ahead and send you a link right now? Can I send you a link right now? You want to come in? Let me know. Hello, Joe.
Joe.
And hey, Sister Chris. So if I send you a link right now, Vincent, let's see what happens. If you can do it. And it's going to the Sands email. Okay? So I'm going to send it to you. If you want to come in tonight, feel free to do that. Okay? All right. He says he's currently on set, so you can't do it. Oh, man. Okay. We'll work it out. Hey, Brother Kessler.
How you doing out there, man? Good to see you or hear from you.
Yes. And there's Pearl coming in the house.
Okay.
Wow. So... let's see. I don't know what we're going to talk about tonight. You know. Hope you all had a good day. Hey, Sissy and brother-in-law, they finally came in here. Well, I need to mention to you guys that Laverne talked to me earlier today, and her mom is in transition as we speak. And I had talked to her in several hours, but she was dealing with that today. So be in prayer with Laverne.
Yeah, she's having time with it.
Yeah, she's of course dealing with that. Her mom transitioning. But anyway.
Yeah, you guys know how it is.
Yes.
Mr. Kessler and some of the rest of us.
Yes.
Joe and
those of you who are local Cornerstoners, you know who Laverne is, so you can feel free to reach out to her. I'm sure she won't mind that.
Boy.
I'm sure she won't mind that. Anyway, we're here, and I think I'm going to do a affirmation, if that's okay with you, babe.
Okay.
You're ready to do that? Good afternoon, Fleeta. I'm glad you're here, sweetheart. Let's do a quick affirmation. And, well, it may not be quick, but let's center ourselves. And when someone talks about transitioning, it has a tendency to sober you up really quick. You really become very sober when you hear something like that. Kind of puts all your other plans and things you like to do all on the back burner for a while. So that makes us very, very sober at this moment. And
it's amazing.
Thank you, Norman. She says we'll definitely keep her and her family in our prayers.
It's amazing that we come into this story or into this world, and how that being here, there's some part of us connected to it that makes it seem real.
Oh, very real.
And
very
that's
real.
the big. I think that is one of the biggest lessons that we have to learn in this dimension. And still, we wanted to come.
Sure.
And we came.
Sure.
And we knew. And we are. And it is. And everybody has to go through this door.
Yes, that's true. One of the things that Laverne mentioned today, and I've often said it as well, she says, no matter how prepared you are, you're never ready for this. And it even when you know that this is all a dream and that these are just fleeting, temporary, I should say, experiences, then it's still, the weight of it bears down on you when it comes in and you actually face it. So just be in prayer with her and keep her in mind and in your heart. In the meantime, good afternoon, Cynthia. Good afternoon, Phyllis and Edward. Hello, Diane.
They just had that to happen to them, Phyllis and
Yes,
Edward. Yeah.
yes, his son just lost his son last week, a week or two before. Yeah, Oliver and Yolanda. Hello, Ollie. I'm glad you're here.
Okay.
So let's do a quick not quick. I said quick again. Let's do an affirmation to kind of center ourselves. If you would take a deep breath in and put down your cup of coffee or whatever you got in your hand and turn your whatever else you got going on, and minimize your distractions if you can, and center in to where God actually is inside you, inside yourself, and actually try to find and sense and become aware of God within. If you can do that, just try to sense it, where God is, right in the center of your being. And repeat after me. I am an imagination of the imagining of God. I emerge from infinity into awareness of being. I am omnipotent energy. I created this body and planted myself within it. As I identified with this form body, I tend to forget who I am, from whom I came from, and where I came from. I find I become the experiencer of all things impermanent, the perceiver of objects, of time, and of space. I find I became the seeker who is searching for fulfillment and purpose. I have become saturated with my experiences, disillusioned by the comings and goings of all experiences. Now I long for rest, contentment, true happiness, which can only be found in that which is permanent. I long for the final experience, the death of the sense of a separated self. The death of the concept of the limited person. I am left with a longing to be united with the source of all that is.
Mm-hmm.
I remain in the present moment, leaving the past in the past, not projecting into the future, which doesn't yet exist. And as the belief in separation collapses, I find myself one with everything and everyone. I have discovered my omnipresent being. I am simply here and aware. I am simply being. I am loving awareness. I am an extension of source energy. With the same attributes as the all that is. I move from being something and somebody to being only presence. I am the imagining of God, merging back into infinity, from where and from whom I originated. I am home. And so it is.
Okay.
Okay, that felt kind of good, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Felt really good. Felt really good. Felt really good.
The big lie is we have never been separated from God, and we have never been separated from each other. There is no each other.
Yes, yes, yes.
It was a statement made in 2 Kings 2 about two men had been working together under the auspices. I have that word again.
Auspices.
Auspices.
You can say auspices if
Auspices
you want
of consciousness awareness.
to. Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass that when they were gone over, that whatever name Elijah said unto Elisha, 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 asked, what shall I do for thee before I am taken away from thee? And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me.
Mm.
What he's saying is that let a double portion of my true identity merge with your true identity in awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, hast thou asked a hard thing? Nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken away from thee, it shall be unto thee. But if not, it shall not be. Now, you know he had to follow this man close.
He did.
He had to follow him so close that every ounce of gas that came out of him, he could smell it.
Like white on rice.
You know that's the truth. And it came to pass, as they still went on and talked, behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. And Elisha said, and saw it, and he cried, my father, my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more. And he took hold of his own clothes and rent them in two.
Mm.
And he took up also the mantle of Elijah that fell upon him, and went backward, and stood by the banks of the Jordan. And he took the mantle of Elijah that it fell from him, and smote the waters, and said, where is the Lord God of Elijah?
Mm.
And when he also had smote the waters that departed, they were hither and thither. And Elisha went over on dry ground. And when the sons of the prophets were come to view at the Jordan, saw him, they said, the spirit of Elijah doth rest upon Elisha. And they came to meet him and bowed themselves unto the ground. And they said unto him, Behold, now thou be with thy servants 50 strong men, but let them go away, we pray thee, and seek. This is some old stuff here. And seek thy master, lest peradventure the Spirit of the Lord have taken him up. See, they didn't know when he's going to be gone.
Right.
The other guy left all of a sudden. Now, these are people who didn't die that went into the heavenly realm. These are people that didn't have near-death experiences.
True.
That just walked right into it. And you would been around, you've seen him walked right in the thin air, and you would have seen the horses and the chariots and the fire.
What I liked about that particular passage, it pointed out that he said, "Where is the Lord God of Elijah?" He was invoking the spirit of that God.
He wanted to see.
Invoking the spirit of that God.
And once this thing was settled, no one had to ever look for God again, because the man that God was, or you could say the female that God was, would never disappear and would always be present.
He is always present. Yes.
It's always present.
Yes.
This is what we're talking about in these classes. It is no longer a 50th anniversary or a Sunday school manual blessing.
Yes.
No longer tarrying like we used to do and waiting on God.
Right.
No longer holding on till your change come. It's no longer waiting for God to change anything before he can be on the scene and on the spot. Then we got this pray till we get the anointing. We got to holler and scream and do chicken walking and buck walking and knock somebody's wig off to say that God is. We had to be around them in a circle like Indians and the cavalry
but
shooting.
all of that came from wanting a sign or evidence that God was present.
That's right.
And we did all kinds of, for us, and some people around us, we did all kinds of silly things to try to convince ourselves that God was present. I like what Linda put up here. She said, Saint Athanasius, I hope I said that right. She said, God became man that man might become God.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
Yes. I heard someone else say, God is man asleep, man is God awake.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why we don't see God and in oneness clearly is because we see too much of what we are not.
Oh gosh, yes. That is the sickness. We see what we're not. And it has blinded us to what we are. It's the seeing of what we're not that has blinded us to what we are. And we haven't been able to see that because that is so prevalent. It's so prevalent.
Because we don't measure up to the physical senses and the worship of these senses in this realm. When somebody don't abide in a certain realm that has to relate to these senses anymore like they did or used to, they say, well, they are fired. It's like I went to work every evening at 4 o'clock. If I didn't go to work and show up, they would say, where's Sawyer? But when I go there and I got on my forklift and the timekeeper come around, she would time keep me. And that's the way I got.
Punch your clock.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. And all I had to do, she'd come around with a pad, and she'd fold it, and she'd be the walking, and she'd mark present. And if I wasn't there, she'd mark absent. Well, by that time, somebody would be calling me. But I always went to work. I remember I stayed out one time and didn't tell them I had quit. Oh, I just tell them I wasn't going to be there.
Well, how many times did your mama die and you had to stay out?
Oh, Lord.
Because you know that's what everybody uses. My mama died or somebody died.
Yeah, and one of the ladies...
And I couldn't get there.
One of the supervisors in R.J. Reynolds at Whitaker Bar, I told him I wanted to get off work because my mama got sick. And this lady, she's the older lady, worked around the cleaning the trash out of the back of the table. Mr. Conger asked her, said, you know anything about his mama? She told me, said, no. Said, his mama ain't sick. She messed me up.
But you know, we did that a lot of times. We'd say stuff like, I've been throwing up all day. I can't come in because I've been throwing up.
And you know, after they shut down R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company in Winston-Salem, I was at the Pleasant Hardware store in Winston, and he walked up. The man that helped keep my job, Ernest Conger, walked up. And the first thing he said to me, "Are you still preaching?" Because I started preaching while he was in the factory.
Yeah, you really had a hard time working in the factory once you came into your understanding and met and had your conversion experience. You had a hard time.
I had a rough time.
Staying in the factory. And you were torn wanting to come out and minister.
And I finally left. I walked in the front door of the lobby up there, and the lady that takes tours, she appoints a different one for tours. I told her, I said, I come to resign. And she said, yes. I thought it was going to be I thought maybe it was going to be horns blowing and people coming around saying, please don't. And
it was very quick and calm.
And they told me that the supervisor told me, said, anytime you want a job, so you can come back. Well, I went up there to give a report about a medical situation I was dealing with, and they told me not to never come back.
But let me ask you, why did you read that passage of scripture? Because you read quite a bit of it. Was there a reason why you wanted to read it?
The reason I did that was because I studied this part of the hither and thither of the mantle that was on one man, and they both names almost sound just alike.
Yeah, Elijah and Elisha.
Yeah, and that mantle symbolizes the robe of Jesus. And the mantle symbolizes the cloth that was on him, that was meshed within the fabric of his being. So when the Christ self reveals himself to us consciously, he is enjoining himself with us awareness. Once you ever catch on to this union with Christ, you are seeing the full mantle of God, and each one of us carry the mantle of God, and our presence is his mantle, and that is never forfeited regardless of who stays and who goes.
So in our absence as a person, God is present.
That's right.
It's when our person is present that God is hidden. Is hidden by our person. I wanted to mention a couple of things that Apostle Norman said and Vincent said. He said the transference of the awareness of true identity. Yes, it's aware instead of awareness of what we're not. It's the awareness of who we truly are, which you really can't be aware of that because you are that. So it's like trying to see yourself with your own eyeballs and. Yeah, so I understand what you're saying. It is a transference. Vincent says to have a beatific vision is to see God as he is. It's not an experience or a set of experiences, but a restructuring of consciousness. That's true. God cannot be experienced in actuality because that we are is the experience. And then he says the false self and spiritual reactions often keep us distracted.
Here's a good one for you. We are the eternal everything as well as the eternal nothing.
Yes.
We are the eternal forgiveness and eternal love. which means there's no thing that can take us out of forgiveness or cause us to lose something that we're made out of. And once you settle in this, you can move on into something else.
Yeah.
And won't have to keep repeating yourself or still anchor yourself.
The settling of this, sometimes it takes time for that, doesn't it? It doesn't take time to have the enlightenment experience, because that powerful seeing can happen in an instant. But to become fixated as that, sometimes it takes time.
It's called the eternal finding out.
Okay. Eternal finding out. It's like there's a never-ending finding out.
That's right.
Yes.
We are
It's
the
a perpetual finding out.
We are the eternal finding out, the history of the mysticism of why we are here.
And that is the big question.
Yes.
Because we've got all these theories. Somebody says that we came here as souls to learn. Well, hey, if I already knew everything before I got here, I didn't come here to learn anything.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So I'm thinking that.
Well, who learns? What part of us learns?
Yeah, how can that be? So, and then we've said that we came here to experience because God wanted to experience. Well, we don't really know. We're theoretically trying to figure it out, and I don't think any of us will actually know until we have to exit our bodies.
Here's a resting position. We are the eternal staying hooked up to God.
Vincent just said the eternal everything and
Okay.
the eternal nothing at the same time. This is and the ain't. The is
That's
and
right.
the ain't. Yes, yes.
We have done by God what was going to be done, and by us doing what had to be done, we were done at the end and the beginning, where we won't have to go back and cook anymore.
No.
That means we don't have to go back and rig up something and put it on the table to see how it's going to taste.
That's about like the Little Rascals we talked about,
Lord,
where they had this recipe and buckwheat was cooking, and it said sit on the stove until well done. Buckwheat sat on the stove.
He was smoking too.
He was sweating. He was sweating,
smoking.
and he did like this. And we threw in this, and black sweat went up on the wall. He sat there till the food was well done.
He was smoking too.
Yes, he was.
Oh, Lordy.
But it is the eternal everything and nothing at the same time, and it's like the disappearance of the me is that's a time consuming process, because we have convinced ourselves that of a me that isn't true.
That's right.
We have convinced ourselves of that, and but at the same time, I don't think we should walk around constantly wondering, is this the me, or is this God, or is this the pure self? I mean, that in itself is egotistical.
We were the eternal self before birth.
Yes.
And there should not be anything lost if we decide to practice being born just to get into this world. Somebody started this thing, and it was us. And somebody's going to finish this thing, and it's going to be us.
Well, like I did in the affirmation or the meditative guided meditation that we did just before we started, I said, I am the imagining of God. I emerged from infinity. That's where I came from. I emerged from infinity.
Everything that is done by God and have been done by God is still being done by us. We are no longer a stranger to the infinite.
Or estranged. Yes.
Of the infinite identity.
Yes.
Now, I used to hear about a man named William Branham. Used to go fishing. He talked to the fish.
He was a prophet.
Yeah, he's a
William
prophet.
Branham.
And he would catch more fish than anybody because he knew how to talk to them and cause them to come to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't understand that part, but I do know that there is a seed that is in us that automatically performs the miraculous.
Yeah, yeah.
And I tell you what I really, in my research over years, what really puzzled me was that how can somebody be one with God and not ever see the miraculous take place?
Well,
I mean, it's just so spontaneous that you.
the miracle is that you become aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
Sissy said this. I just saw something. We see what we are not more so because it is separate from us outside of who we are. Am I saying that right? We see what we're not more so because it's separate from us outside of who we are. Like the rose can't smell or see itself. We just are.
You are. It is a good one here. You are God's NyQuil. That's right.
Okay.
You're the NyQuil of God. You took on the medication and the doctrines of God, and now you are the actual healing power.
Yeah.
That emanates from the healing self and touches everything in the universe. I think we need to sit down and have a little talk with Jesus. And if you do, you're going to talk to yourself. I ask my wife all the time in the kitchen, who you talking to?
Oh, I'm talking to myself most
Talking to
times.
yourself.
Most times.
But
yes.
I remember your dad used to do that all the time.
Yeah, he sure did.
And
He
y'all
did.
thought he was crazy.
He would argue with himself, and he
yeah.
won all of his arguments
Yeah,
too.
oh yeah. Mhm.
Vincent says the plotted path versus the exuberant path. One with Christ, not seeing the miraculous versus seeing the miraculous. Yes, and I said this before, Vincent, and all of you little Vincents out there. I had Spirit say this to me once. He said, "Is this not enough? What is it that longs for miracles to be seen or experienced? What is it that longs for that?" And I had to admit that there is a personal me here that wants to experience that because it makes me feel more secure, makes me feel better, all of the above. So I had to let go of the lusting for the miracle in order to experience what the greatest miracle is, which is the seeing of who I am.
My cousin asked me on the phone when I told him when we got started into this, we went after the healing power of God working through us. Mm-hmm. And I told him that I had seen people's arm and leg grow out, and there were children that was bow-legged, their legs straightened up.
And we have
and
seen
we
that.
saw that. And he said, wait a minute. He said, wait a minute. He said, now wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me you really saw this happen? I said, yeah.
Yes, we have. We've seen some physical miracles.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
But there's more than just physical miracles.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But we have seen physical miracles. And sometimes my little self longs for those miracles again, those seeing of miracles again.
The children that I sat around a lot of times, so I was around, the parents would bring them up, and we sit them in a chair, and we kind of preview this and let them. Actually, I showed some of them how to do it.
Yeah, you did.
And
you did.
Some people in certain churches.
And what you taught us in those sessions where we were doing those, where you were showing us how to do that, was how to still ourselves.
Oh yeah, yeah.
On the inside, yeah. And what we found was when we were able to still ourselves completely, that's what happened. It automatically happened.
The kindness of a great God is the greatness that He's bestowed upon us. The kindness of a great God is the greatness that He bestowed upon us. And that greatness is the mantle of Elijah. It is the mantle of every man and woman of God in the heavens and the universe. that stand in oneness. And once you see this, but you know what? One of the saddest things, I haven't gotten around it yet. I saw a little girl on America Got Talent today, and she was making her living singing in the subways. And she had a box that she kept out there, and she got on the subway and told the people that she was going to sing for them, and that she had this box that if they wanted to put some donations in it.
Was that the little black girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the one who won American Idol, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she at that point, she was living with her grandmother, and that was the way. She said she loved her grandmother.
Yeah.
She was from the Bahamas, I think it was.
That's true.
And she loved her grandmother, and she did that singing in the subways to get money to take care of her. And before she could perform, she had to put herself in a state like she was in the subway.
She couldn't perform on stage the way she did in the subway because she didn't have the confidence to stand in front of the audience.
When after she sung, she asked them at the end, "Can we all come together right there on television and pray with each other?" And they did. They did. It was absolutely heart touching to hear and to see that. But she went through it, and she said she couldn't believe that she was standing on that stage. It's like a dream come true. When I look at these people who do things like that, that remind me so much of my childhood that I went through, that I didn't ever think that I was going to amount to anything, which you know what I'm saying by that. I didn't ever think that I would be able to do things like everybody else. And one of the preachers that I sat under told me, "It ain't nothing wrong with you. You can do it." But I didn't believe it because he was always doing things to make me feel like I couldn't do everything.
Right.
But at the same time, I was able to do things in that particular area of church. You know, I always wanted to be a deacon.
You did?
Yeah, I wanted to be a deacon, work around church. And I always wanted to be somebody who was a clean-up person to take care of the pastor. But I never did get a chance to do that. Because
how are you going to do that when you were the pastor?
Well, I mean, before I got into it, I was venturing to do anything I could in the church, but it didn't work out like that. So God had special things for me. I saw in my life how God deliberately kept me out of the military, so that I could meet you.
Yeah.
And that was a treat there.
Yeah.
But these things that we're talking about are little signals and signs and inquisitionings that we all have to go through. There will be a time in each one of you guys' life out there that you will stop and take a checkup on what God brought you into where you are now through those past life experiences. And He will establish in your memory the burning fire of the grace of God that absolutely took care of you and brought you to where you are. And God ain't finished yet.
That's right.
He ain't finished yet, and you ain't finished yet, because when I was the only one that was left on earth with my wife here as a bridge that would speak the last words to my mom in her crossing over. And I always thought that I would never be around her when she passed. And as a matter of fact, I wonder was she going to ever die at all, because she was 106 years old, I guess 100-something years old. And I thought maybe she would be leaving before the rest of my brothers and sisters. But like I stayed here just for her. Now, go ahead.
And it had to be that way so that some things could be resolved.
Yeah.
So I understand now why some people live longer, some people die early, because what we consider early, because there's things that have to be resolved, there's closure that has to be gotten, and there are a lot of reasons for those things to take place. And I remember years ago when my mom and my brother were both living, and he was living with her, and I would have I would pray many times for certain things to be done for my mom, not realizing that the prayer was being answered, but it didn't come the way my mind wanted it to come. Many times my brother was the answer to the prayer, and I didn't want him to be the answer to the prayer because I had a resentment against him for the way his lifestyle was and how he could have done better or been better. And so I didn't expect him to be the lamb that God would sacrifice.
There's something I just read here. It said, let kindness be on your tongue. Kindness be a proverb that would cause people to look and see, wonder who is this mass rider. You are always have a place in this life. When I see guys sitting around on corners, I travel and see them, they're homeless, and I look at them and I say, that could be me. Then I find out that is me. But it's a different part.
Literally be you.
Yeah. So we are constantly viewing ourselves. Smite evil with kindness, and let not kindness depart from you.
I heard somebody ask a spiritual teacher or sage, said, when will God come and save mankind? And the sage said to him, when man becomes kind man.
Put on kindness like you put mustard on a hot dog.
Okay.
Put on kindness like you put gravy in grits. Oh, Lord have mercy. We've done some crazy things in this life. Ask God about it. Don't have to go too far to get an answer. We used to spend all night long praying, asking God, what is it, Lord? What is it? Show me Jesus. Show me Jesus. All we have to do is keep living.
We spent a lot of time trying and grasping and just putting forth a lot of effort to try to get God's attention, not realizing that we've never not had God's attention. It's never been a moment when we didn't have God's attention because we didn't realize our life, what life that we call our life, is actually God's life. And it is Christ living this life. So to invoke the Spirit of Christ is to allow that sense of a separate self to submerge and allow that is truly Christ to emerge. So it's not changing, but it's an exchanging.
Well, you guys are with us tonight. We're winding down a little bit because there are some of you out there that are going through some things, and I sense that you need to put it on the carpet up there and let us see it. Since we've been on this
carpet,
I said on the carpet. Put it up on the screen, rather.
You want them to write in the comments?
Yeah, write in your comments.
What they're dealing with?
Yeah.
Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Okay, you heard him. He wants you to put
the
in what you're
eternal
dealing
everything
with.
and the eternal nothing.
Yes.
The eternal self.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Vincent put that in earlier. Yeah, you heard him. He wants to want you
I
to
want to know
type
where you guys are out
what
there.
you are experiencing. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, tell us what's been going on since you guys been with us online. Talk to us a little bit and let us know where you are.
Where are you in this?
In your pathless path.
Yeah, in this seeing and in this understanding. I know some have. I
know some don't write much, don't talk much.
Right. So
do what you can, baby.
Yeah.
Everything that was and is, it's been done. We are not a stranger to this walk. Many lifetimes have we covered these areas, and many lifetimes have we been able to stand in front of people and explain who we are. Some of us lived through it, and some of us at the last moment gave our lives in the physical world to experience what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's this longing for the final seeing. I think all of us who are in this spiritual community, that's what we really long for, is a final seeing that will forever cause us to not so much see, but cause us to walk and embody that we know. Okay, Vincent's first one up. Hey, Nina, we love you, sweetheart.
Yeah, there she
We're
is.
still praying and believing God with you,
There
sweetheart.
she is.
Yeah, and Vincent says, I am at the point of understanding and gaining wisdom over knowledge. I feel I already know most of this, but I'm remembering now. Yes, sir, that's it. That's exactly right. It's not a teaching. It's a reminding, and it's like a trigger to bring your divine memory, to open up your whole divine memory. Jill says this, stillness is a place of rest. And I know for my conversations with you, Jill, you've always searched for that rest, that inner rest, because you have a brilliant intellectual mind, and it is constantly in overdrive. And I know that you have sought means of calm and quiet, and I'm believing God with you for that. And then you wanted to hear this.
Yeah,
so
go
here
ahead.
it
I'm
comes.
listening to it.
Myrna, hey sweetheart, how are you? She says, I find many people with anxiety are coming to me for help, not always sure how to help them.
But you notice they coming to you.
Mm-hmm. Which tells me that the Lord and God and the universe and cosmic Christ is pulling you to find the answer to how to overcome anxiety, so that you can help them. That's your education being presented to you.
You'll see some things, Miss Nina, about Christ and your identity, but what your body is going through. And you will hear God speak to you through this and around this more than you ever have. And it was just like Lazarus was called forth from the grave. The glory of God is seen in the afflictions that you're going through in a way that only you can tell and only you can experience. But you need to know, and you do, that we are there beside you. No one comes in and out except that we be the ones that in God see fit to greet you. Your mom, your dad, and everybody else around you, your family, your kids, and everything. You have a divine audience. Yep, that's what I wanted to say. You have a divine audience, and we will, Miss Nina, some of the things that you said, some of the things that you did when we used to come up to your house and talk to you, and we had those sessions in your house. I never thought that would be like that, but God set it up, and you have always been a gold nugget in our life, and you will always be. We give you our love, and Laverne is going through some things now. We give her our heart, the heart of Jesus, the sacred heart of Christ.
I don't know what, I'm just going to take a leap of faith here. But as we were speaking to Nina and to Myrna and to Jill, I felt this tremendous heat. And I'm going to take a leap of faith and say this now. I speak healing into your body right now, Nina. We bring into your body, into every system of your body, the alignment that it needs to cure itself. I just felt that.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever it is that the body needs to cure itself, we invoke the spirit of healing. And there's an angel of healing right now with you. And that healing is starting in your attitude. It's starting in your belief systems, not so much to stand in faith, but it's starting in a rest for you, a resting in, knowing, and a trusting. And I speak that into you right now and around you. Not as if I have it to give, but it is there with you, and I see it and I feel it, and I'm just acknowledging it. Now, Jill says, thank you. Lydia is laughing and said she wants me to rest. And that's, yes, and that's what we want for you. Linda says, life is simple, a quiet joy of self-awareness for me. Yes, and I feel myself there too, Linda, at a place of the simplicity of life. And really don't have a desire to get caught up in any kind of rat race at all.
That's right.
Thank you, Nina. Yes, sweetheart. We are all praying with and for you, and knowing that we choose to see you healed and well.
Amen.
Yes.
Okay.
And all of you can say that. Myrna said it. She said, I speak this for Nina and for my friends Jessica and Wally. All of you can say this. I choose to see her healed and well. I choose to see Nina healed and well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
The joy of the Lord is in your bones. Make you want to cut a step on the porch before you get home.
Oh.
Oh, Lordy. You are pregnant with God's baby. And that means you are burdened with a fetus called accomplishment. You are burdened with a Christ image coming forth out of you. And a lot of these things that you're going through is birth pains of your true identity pushing its way out through your body.
Yeah, I just really felt that heat. For real, I did. That heat. And usually that's a sign of a healing presence that's available. And so I speak that into existence for anyone right now that is ready to receive it. And not so much receive it, but allowing it to explode within you. Because that's where the healing is. It's inside of you. It's exploding inside of you right now. Oh, we thank you for that, Lord.
Okay.
We thank you for that.
The kindness of God is the energy and the life that flows through us. And it's so easy.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much for your blessings, everybody. You've been good to us. You've sent us things that help us get through some of these rough places and finances.
Yes, you have.
And we're going to keep this thing going here.
Hello, Lakeisha. I'm glad you're here, sweetheart.
Who's that, Lakeisha?
Yeah, and Vincent says we are flowing water of eternal essence,
Yes.
moving inward and outward in the universe together. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
This has been good today. I think it's been really good. Really good session.
You guys keep
I
your
think this has
chin
been
up
a
out
great
there.
session. Yes.
Oh, boy, say don't take no wooden nickels.
Linda says she experienced an instant healing years ago. It is real. It's very real.
It is. It
It's
really is.
very real. There are times when God will instantaneously heal people. Then sometimes it takes it's a process. And then sometimes there are lessons involved and messages involved that we have to get while we're going through the different process. So yes, Linda, it is very real. Very real.
I remember one time I had to take a trip out of town to California, really, and I got so sick. My body was so sick
I remember
with
that.
the flu bug, and I didn't know. I had to call to California to cancel things, and I just wondered, was I going to make it? And I asked the Lord, with my assistant pastor sitting beside the bed, I asked him, I said, how long will this thing last? And he said 3 days. And I was going into the third day, and I was coming out of it. But when I got ready to take that trip, the Lord said to me, you're going to meet Mac and Brenda Timberlake. I said, I am. And no sooner than I got to the
Now,
airport.
some don't know who Mac and Brenda
they were
Timberlake
old,
are, but
they're
they're the
primo.
first couple we saw in the ministry that ministered together the way
As a
we do
team.
now. Yeah.
And I went in, we got to the airport, and Pastor Norman said, lo and behold,
There they were.
They were sitting there right beside each other before
You're
he
talking
died.
about being kind.
Oh, well, Lord, what you
He
talking
was
about?
the kindest
Yes, he
man I
was.
have ever seen.
Yes.
Now these people, they were in our circle. They would be considered celebrities, Christian celebrities, because they had a really, really big ministry, and they were at the peak of their ministry. And he invited. It was myself and Latanya. He invited us to ride in
He
the
sure
limousine with
He did.
them
He sure did.
to the hotel. Isn't that
Yeah.
something?
And
And picked our bags up for us. He personally picked up our bags.
And Brother Oliver and his
Yeah.
wife gave us a personal invitation to
go
her.
speak to
to
her.
go speak to
Yes,
her.
yes, yes.
And what a marvelous presence was there with her. But I want to
So,
tell you
yeah.
guys, this presence that we're talking
So
about.
people don't remember what you say.
Yeah.
They remember how you make them feel.
That's right. That's right.
So I'm praying that you feel us when we talk to you. I pray that you
And
feel
she
us.
and Mac talked to us. It was one of the most amazing experiences. And then we had a chance to go down to their church and meet them after he crossed over. But this is a wonderful time for you guys out there. You at the opening, I see a door opening for all of you out there for new adventures in your eternal self. New things are showing up with you, and the joy of the Lord is your strength.
Yes.
The strength of you is your eternal self. Okay?
We
Thank
love you
you.
guys so much, and we thank you for tuning in to us
Yes.
tonight.
And we'll look forward to talking to some of you guys on Thursday
Yes, sir, at
at
12:30.
12:30.
And Pastor Norman will be with us on that
Yes.
day.
Yes.
And we've got to get Vincent in here because he's got such great comments.
Yeah.
We've got to get Vincent in here to be on as a guest for us because he's got all these wonderful things to say. And so we will be back with you on Thursday.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you, guys. We love you too.
Thanks
Yes,
for the
we
help
love
you've
you.
given us. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye, you guys.